What do we know about the Russian military intelligence unit suspected by Britain of being behind the Salisbury-Novichok attack? The GRU, Russia's main intelligence directorate, was founded in 1918 after Lenin's Bolshevik Revolution. Lenin insisted on its independence from other secret services, and the GRU was seen as a rival by other Soviet secret services, such as the KGB. Before the Russian Federation came into existence, the unit was subordinate to the more famous and feared KGB, the notorious internal security service of the Soviet Union. The KGB was ultimately succeeded by the FSB, the Federal Security Service of the Russian Federation. Vladimir Putin was a member of the KGB for 16 years, and later briefly the head of the FSB. According to Yuri Shvets, a former KGB agent, GRU officers were referred to as boots, tough but unsophisticated. Share this article. Share 12 shares. The GRU took its officers from the trenches, he said, whereas KGB picked its agents from the USSR's best universities. The GRU, an acronym for Glavnoye Razvedivatelnoye Upravlenie, would train agents and then send them to represent the Soviet Union abroad as military attaches in foreign embassies, according to historian John Barron. But once a member of the GRU, it is believed to be exceptionally difficult to leave. And those who do so to join foreign agencies were punished savagely. Viktor Suvorov, a GRU officer who defected to Britain in 1978, said new recruits were shown a video of a traitor from the agency being burned alive in a furnace as a warning. In recent years, the agency has gained notoriety for its connection to some of Russia's most contentious actions abroad. In July this year, U.S. Special Counsel Robert Mueller indicted 12 GRU officers, accusing them of interfering in the 2016 U.S. presidential election. The Bellingcat investigative team has linked the downing of MH17 in eastern Ukraine in 2014 with a GRU officer who it said supervised the procurement and transport of weapons. The agency has also been linked to an attempt to overthrow Montenegro's government on the eve of parliamentary elections in October 2016. The GRU is now considered Russia's largest foreign intelligence service, according to Reuters, dwarfing Moscow's better-known Foreign Intelligence Service, SVR, which is the successor to the KGB's first chief directorate. Unlike the KGB, the GRU was not split up when the Soviet Union collapsed in 1991. It has a special status and answers directly to the Chief of the General Staff, one of the 3 people who control Russia's portable nuclear control system. GRU chiefs are picked by Putin himself. Russian military intelligence has a spy network abroad that is believed by espionage experts to be several times bigger than that of Russia's foreign intelligence service. Its experts decipher and analyze espionage information gathered by dozens of Russian military space satellites. It also has several elite special forces units that fought in many post-1945 conflicts, including Afghanistan, Chechnya and the Syrian Civil War. In 1997, it was thought to control 25,000 special forces troops. The GRU has confirmed, or tacitly accepted, it was behind some major spy operations abroad. It has also been accused of many operations that it denies. Former FSB agent Alexander Litvinenko, who was murdered in London by Russian intelligence after defecting to Britain, was one of many Russians to accuse the GRU of being involved in 4 apartment bombings in Moscow in 1999. He alleged it was a successful coup designed to get Putin, who was then prime minister, elected president after he launched a popular invasion of Chechnya in revenge for the bombings. It is also believed by Western governments and intelligence agencies that the GRU is behind the hacking groups Fancy Bear and Guxfer. Fancy Bear is thought to have been responsible for attacks on official organizations within NATO states, including the German parliament. It is also accused of interfering in the French election of 2017 and the International Olympic Committee, among other world institutions. The GRU, however, has also suffered several humiliating blows to its reputation after some of its top agents defected to the West. One such defector was Oleg Vinkovsky, a friend of the then GRU chief. He informed Washington of a Moscow operation to place nuclear missiles in Cuba. The scandal led to the Cuban Missile Crisis, and the world balanced on the brink of a full-blown nuclear war for several days. Vinkovsky was arrested in 1962 and executed in 1963 after being found guilty of high treason and espionage. Sergei Skripal, a former colonel in GRU, was considered by the Kremlin to be one of the most damaging spies of his generation. He was responsible for unmasking dozens of secret agents threatening Western interests by operating undercover in Europe. Colonel Skripal, 66, allegedly received £78,000 in exchange for taking huge risks to pass classified information to MI6. In 2006, he was sentenced to 13 years in a Russian labor camp after being convicted of passing invaluable Russian secrets to the UK. A senior source in Moscow said at the time, "This man is a big hero for MI6." After being convicted of high treason in the form of espionage by Moscow's military court, Colonel Skripal was stripped of his rank, medals and state awards. He was alleged by Russia's security service, the FSB, to have begun working for the British Secret Services while serving in the army in the 1990s. He passed information classified as state secrets and was paid for the work by MI6, the FSB claimed. Colonel Skripal pleaded guilty at the trial and cooperated with investigators, reports said at the time. He admitted his activities and gave a full account of his spying, which led to a reduced sentence. In July 2010, he was pardoned by then-Russian President Dmitry Medvedev and was one of 4 spies exchanged for 10 Russian agents deported from the US in an historic swap involving red-headed femme fatale Anna Chapman. After the swap at Vienna airport, Colonel Skripal was one of 2 spies who came to Britain, and he has kept a low profile for the past 8 years. The former spy was living at an address in Salisbury, Wiltshire, when the suspected poisoning took place in the city centre.